She drained our joint account and texted me, "I'm leaving you. Good luck surviving." I stared at my phone, blinked twice and replied, "You too." Because obviously, survival is a mutual endeavor, right? Little did Chloe know that joint account she just emptied wasn't actually joint. No. It was a business line of credit in her name only. The bank, bless their timing, began calling her about the $80,000 debt within the hour. A little context. I'm 31 male and I had been with Chloe 29 for 6 years, married for 3. The text arrived while I was heroically sitting at my desk job on a Thursday afternoon, fighting the good fight against Excel spreadsheets. "Just emptied our account," she said. "I'm leaving you for someone who actually has ambition. Good luck surviving without me. B2B already filed for divorce. Don't try to find me." I leaned back in my chair deadpan and thought, wow, ambition. Right. Because draining imaginary joint savings is peak ambition. I opened our banking app. Yep. The account we'd been using for household stuff, groceries, bills, her incessant coffee orders, showed the previous balance, $80,000. Here's the kicker. When we first moved in together 4 years ago, Chloe insisted on handling finances. "I know all the tricks," she said. "Maximizing interest, getting the best accounts, blah blah." I was young, in love, and let's be honest, financially illiterate. So I nodded, smiled, and handed over the money. She set up what she called our household account, and made me an authorized user. "Better than a regular joint account for taxes and credit," she said. And I dutifully transferred my portion every month while she handled the bills. Everything worked fine, for 4 years. What I didn't know, what Chloe apparently still didn't know, was that she had actually opened a business line of credit, not a checking account. Sole proprietor. Her consulting business that never really launched. I realized this about 8 months ago when I started educating myself on finances. Ironically, because Chloe kept calling me financially illiterate. I noticed some weird terms on a statement, Googled like a responsible adult, called the bank pretending to be confused, and bam, the rep explained, "You're just an authorized user. Only Chloe is responsible for repayment." I kept quiet, transferred my half every month, but also quietly opened my own checking account and built an emergency fund, because apparently, one must always plan for your partner's spontaneous genius decisions. So when I read her text after the initial shock, I laughed. Art. She had just stolen $80,000 from herself. "And interest, sweet lord, with interest." I texted back, "You too." Then I waited. Exactly 73 minutes later, my phone exploded. "Chloe calling?" Declined. "Unknown number, probably her mom?" Declined. "Chloe calling again?" Declined. Text from Chloe, "What did you do?" Text from Chloe, "The bank says I owe them money." Text from Lee, "This is your debt too." Text from Chloe, "Answer your phone." I screenshotted everything and blocked her. 20 minutes later, her sister Meredith called. I actually liked Meredith, so I answered. "Theo, what's happening?" Chloe's hysterical. Something about the bank calling about a massive debt. I sipped my coffee, smirked, and said, "Let me guess, she drained the account she thought was joint and is now surprised she owes money?" Meredith paused. Yes. It turns out it wasn't a joint account. It's a business credit line in her name." I raised an eyebrow. She stole money from a credit line. Technically, she borrowed it from herself. And now she owes the bank $80,000 plus interest. Meredith gasped. "But that was your money too." I chuckled. "Nope. I was just an authorized user. My monthly transfers technically counted as payments toward the credit line. But the debt? All hers. Did you know?" Meredith, "You found out 8 months ago?" Me, "Yup. Never thought she'd do something this stupid though." Meredith sighed. "Theo, she's with someone else. Been months. Some crypto guy named Blake she met at a conference. You need to help her with this debt situation." I blinked slowly, then stared into the middle distance. Help her? She just stole what she thought was my money and left me for another man, because it's the right thing to do. The right thing? Meredith? I muttered to myself, staring at my phone like it had personally betrayed me. She literally tried to leave me with nothing. Nothing. She thought I'd be broke and desperate. The only reason she's in trouble is because she didn't understand her own financial setup. I hung up on Meredith before I laughed so hard I spilled my coffee. The entitlement had now officially reached astronomical levels. First, Chloe tried the legal route because why not? She had some bargain basement lawyer send me a letter demanding I pay half the debt. Half the debt. As if marital funds included imaginary dollars she siphoned from herself. I called my lawyer, yes, I had retained one because adulting, and he responded with the calm simplicity of a man who's clearly seen this nonsense before. Theo, you were an authorized user, not a cosigner. Debt predates marriage. Not your problem. Perfect. Not my problem. Then came the emotional manipulation. Cue her parents. Doorbell rings. I ignore it. Doorman calls. Sir, there's a Robert here to see you. Says it's urgent. I pick up the intercom, tell him I'm not available. Could hear Robert yelling from the lobby like some soap opera villain about man-to-man conversations and doing the honorable thing. Security eventually escorted him out and I went back to my cereal because breakfast is sacred. Meanwhile, Meredith reached out again with some tea. Apparently, Chloe had been spinning some tall tale for Blake, the crypto guy she'd been dating. I'm getting at least $80,000 in the divorce, plus alimony, plus half his 401k, she apparently told him. I snorted. Blake bought it? Oh no. Blake bounced. Ghosted her within 24 hours. She even tried to move into the apartment he'd been renting for them. Surprise, surprise, he'd never actually put her name on it. Landlord wouldn't let her in. Blake had already told them she was no longer authorized. So now Chloe was homeless, $80,000 in debt and single. I felt bad, for approximately 0.3 seconds. Then I remembered the good luck surviving text and went back to my cereal. But Chloe wasn't done. No, she went full drama queen. She created a whole victim narrative online, posting about her financially abusive ex-husband, who supposedly tricked her into debt. She claimed I had manipulated the banking system to trap her. Problem: a few of our mutual friends work in finance. Her former co-worker from the bank, Jerome, commented, Chloe, you literally worked in banking. You opened that account yourself. I remember you bragging about the rewards points. She deleted the post. Too late. Screenshots were already doing the rounds. Then came the truly pathetic attempt. She reached out to my mom. Oh yes, because mom loves unsolicited financial advice from her kid's ex. Screenshot from my mom. Chloe, Mrs. Davidson, Theo won't help me with this misunderstanding about our finances. As his mother, could you talk sense into him? The same sense you had when you were cheating on my son with that crypto fool. That kind of sense. Delete my number. Legendary. Peak entitlement? Oh, that came yesterday. Bank calls. Not about the debt. No, but about Chloe trying to report my authorized user card as fraud. Bank rep sounded tired. Sir, we've reviewed the account history. Every transaction from your card was for regular household expenses, groceries, utilities, etc. Does she really want us to investigate this as fraud? I blinked at the phone. Filing a false fraud report is literally a federal crime, lady. And she had texted me admitting she took the money. $80,000 withdrawn at once. Not flagged? Business credit lines, people. Rules are different. Interest? 24.99% APR. I choked on my coffee. Minimum payments forever. The spiral accelerated faster than a crypto scam. Chloe's lawyer. Well, her lawyer dropped her. What? Because she couldn't pay the retainer. Chloe, in her infinite wisdom, decided she didn't need a lawyer and tried representing herself in our first divorce hearing. She showed up in designer clothes, probably bought with the $80,000 she thought was my money, and demanded alimony because, apparently, living in style is a human right. The judge, a beacon of common sense, looked at her financial records. He saw the $80,000 withdrawal, saw her texts admitting she'd taken it, saw that she'd been employed full-time until she quit 2 weeks ago. Oh yes, Chloe thought she could just quit her job after cleaning me out. Judge, deadpan, ma'am, you withdrew $80,000 from a credit line, quit your job, and now want your ex-husband to support you. Chloe flailing, he tricked me. He knew it was a credit line. Judge, did he force you to open the account? Chloe, no. Judge, did he force you to withdraw the money? Chloe, no. Judge, then why do you expect him to pay for your mistakes? You set up the account, managed it for years, and you work in banking. Ignorance of your own financial instruments is not your ex-husband's responsibility. Zero alimony. Nada. Sip. She actually owed the bank, plus my legal fees, because she drained accounts with marital funds. $80K included my contributions over the years. But oh, Chloe was just getting started. Her entitlement went nuclear. She started calling my employer daily, claiming I'd stolen from her, that I was dangerous, and that they were employing a financial predator. HR, bless them, pulled me in for a meeting. Me, here's the situation. Divorce papers, texts, receipts, everything. HR, wow. That's disruptive, but okay. We believe you. I smiled because I had been recording everything legally with one-party consent, including a voicemail where Chloe explicitly said, "I'm going to call your job every day until you pay my debt. I'll make up whatever I need to. They'll fire you eventually." HR's face went pale. Legal got involved. Cease and desist sent. Chloe? Violated it within 48 hours. My company pressed charges for harassment. And the bank? Naturally, collection proceedings started. She missed her first payment because she'd already blown through most of the $80,000. How, you ask? According to Meredith, who by now was thoroughly disgusted with her sister. First-class tickets to Costa Rica for her and Blake, a designer shopping spree, a deposit on a luxury apartment she couldn't actually afford, a down payment on a new car she couldn't get approved for, cosmetic procedures she'd been wanting, hotels, and of course investing in Blake's crypto scheme. Bank calls, Chloe panics, tries to negotiate, claims financial hardship. Bank asks for proof of income. She had none. She'd quit her job. Debt accelerated. Full $80,000 plus interest due immediately. Peak desperation. Chloe tried to get Robert to co-sign a consolidation loan. He refused. She tried her mom. Refused. Even Meredith said no. So, naturally, she hit rock bottom of shamelessness. Started a crowdfunding campaign. Help a domestic abuse survivor recover from financial exploitation. I kid you not. Photos of her crying, completely fabricated story about how I supposedly manipulated her into debt, asking for $100,000 to rebuild her life. It raised $37 in 3 days. Someone donated $2 with the comment, LOL. Meredith sent me screenshots of Chloe melting down in the family group chat, demanding everyone share the campaign and calling them unsupportive when they refused. Her own aunt responded, "Chloe, everyone knows what you did. Stop embarrassing yourself." Then the legal consequences really started hitting. Harassment charges? She got arrested at her parents' house. Robert had to bail her out. Conditions included no contact with me or my employer. She violated them within a week, creating fake email accounts to send anonymous tips to my company about my criminal behavior. IP traced back to her. Back to jail. This time, Robert didn't bail her out immediately. He let her stew for 48 hours to think about her choices. Meanwhile, the divorce was finalized. She got her personal belongings, her car that she was making payments on. 40% of marital assets instead of 50%, because the judge factored in the $80,000 she took. I kept my apartment, my 401k, my sanity. She had to pay the $80,000 credit line debt, my legal fees, and, oh yes, the judge ruled her behavior malicious. Court costs. The total she owed between the bank and legal fees? About $95,000. Not a typo. $95,000 of pure, unadulterated Chloe stupidity. Her next brilliant move? Bankruptcy. Of course. But she got creative, or reckless, hard to tell. She transferred some assets to her parents before filing. Because nothing says, "I have financial sense," like committing federal bankruptcy fraud. Naturally, the bankruptcy trustee sniffed it out. I mean, that's literally their job. Chloe panicked, withdrew the petition, and now she was under investigation. Meanwhile, she was still living with Robert and her mom, probably expecting pity parades. Meredith filled me in. Apparently, Chloe thought living with family should come with a side of victimhood. Her parents, however, had a more radical plan. Get a job, pay rent, do chores, attend financial literacy classes. I know, pure cruelty. The irony practically jumps off the page. She lasted 2 weeks. Then the meltdown. Apparently everyone was punishing her for falling in love with Blake, who hadn't contacted her since disappearing into the ether of failed crypto dreams. Then came the piece de resistance. She reached out to my ex-girlfriend from college, Amber, on social media. Tried to convince her that I was some kind of financial mastermind who'd conned both of them. Wanted to team up to expose me. Amber's response? Legendary. She sent me screenshots. Amber, Chloe, I dated Theo for 2 years. He's literally the most straightforward person I know. We broke up because we wanted different things, not because he's some evil genius. Also, girl, you stole 80K and got caught. Take the L and move on. I almost fell out of my chair laughing. Classic Amber. And the highlight, last week I ran into Blake at a coffee shop. He tried to avoid me like the plague, but fate put us in line together. I couldn't resist. Me, "Hey Blake, how's the crypto going?" Blake, red-faced and mumbling, and not great." Me chuckling, "I'm shocked. Truly shocked." Apparently, Chloe had invested about $15 in his crypto scheme. It crashed spectacularly. Worth maybe $300 now. I literally laughed out loud in the coffee shop. People stared. Totally worth it. Final update. The conclusion is as predictable as it is pathetic. Chloe's debt went to collections. Credit score? Obliterated. She'll be dealing with that for the next decade minimum. Harassment charges? 18 months probation plus mandatory anger management classes. Criminal record? Check. Retail job? 6 weeks. Fired for berating a customer who looked at her judgmentally. Current job? A call center doing collections. Irony so thick you could cut it with a knife. She tried one last Hail Mary, reaching out to me through a mutual friend, claiming she'd learned her lesson and Blake meant nothing. My response through the friend? Me, tell her I said good luck surviving. Mutual friend comes back laughing. She went ballistic. Screaming about how you ruined her life and set her up. Robert, finally done with her nonsense, kicked her out after she tried to steal checks from his checkbook. Now she's living with a cousin who charges market rate rent and requires first and last month up front. Meredith and I actually still talk occasionally. So Meredith told me the latest family tea. Apparently at some family dinner, Chloe had the audacity to declare she was the victim of a sophisticated financial conspiracy, and that I'd probably been planning this masterstroke for years. I almost spilled my coffee. Her uncle, who actually knows how numbers work, he's an accountant, didn't miss a beat. Uncle, Chloe, you opened a credit line, forgot it was a credit line, stole from it and got caught. The only conspiracy here is how you graduated from college. I nearly fell off the couch laughing. Savage. Uncle, continuing, probably rolling his eyes so hard he strained something. As for me, I'm doing fine. Kept my job, my apartment, my retirement savings, started dating Jade, a woman from my rock climbing gym who actually understands how bank accounts work. Me muttering to myself, coffee in hand, yeah, Jade gets it. She wouldn't even touch a joint account, that's actually a credit line in one person's name. The $80,000 Chloe stole? Technically she stole it from herself. I'd only contributed about $20 of that over the years in monthly payments. The bank, in its infinite wisdom, counted those as legitimate payments toward the credit line. Karma, ladies and gentlemen, is real. Last I heard through the grapevine, Chloe's in debt for the next 15 plus years, living paycheck to paycheck. Blake is under SEC investigation for his crypto scheme, her parents barely speak to her, and she's banned from 3 local banks for aggressive behavior. And of course, she still posts vague inspirational quotes about surviving betrayal on social media. So here's the moral of the story, and I'll say it slowly so Chloe can take notes. If you're going to drain a joint account and leave your partner with a good luck surviving text, maybe, just maybe, make sure you actually understand what kind of account it is first. And definitely make sure it's not a credit line in your name only. Turns out karma doesn't need my help. Sometimes idiots destroy themselves with their own entitlement. Good luck surviving, Chloe. You're going to need it for the next 15 years of monthly payments. Oh, and for those asking, and yes, they keep asking, this is all legal. No, I had no obligation to warn her. She set up the account. She managed it. She worked in banking. Her ignorance of her own financial instruments isn't my problem, especially after she tried to leave me with nothing. Edit 2 for the persistent crowd. If you think I should have told her, remember, she literally texted me, I'm leaving you. Good luck surviving, right after stealing what she thought was our money. Why on earth would I help someone who does that? And finally, Chloe, if by some miracle you're reading this and Meredith tells you you've been hate searching my username, that financial literacy class you're taking? Pay attention. Might actually help with the next 180 monthly payments you've got left. Love this story? Like, share, and subscribe for more epic audio adventures. Stay curious and keep listening.